Hello all. You will already have seen from the title that I'm doing a tag video for you today, and although it could be considered a bit lazy and a bit of a cop-out, I thought it was just a bit of fun and nonsense. You'll also see that I have combined two tags in this video because I really think that the Un-Goth confessions and the Goth cliches are the opposite sides of the same coin. I'm not entirely sure how many I am going to come up with, so I'll just get started and see how we get on. I cannot abide Christian death. And the same can be said for Specimen and Sex Gang Children and the birthday party. Yes, you may have jangly guitars, and yes, you may have magnificent hair, but no, I don't like you. I even dislike you, actually, to the point where if I have got a goth playlist on Spotify at work and one of those bands come on, I will stop what I'm doing to hit the down thumb. I cannot. I'm sorry, I just cannot. 99% of my clothing is black. This was true even before I identified with the goth aesthetic. When I was just, alternative, different, weird, my clothes were predominantly black, and it was purely practical. I didn't have a lot of money, so all my clothes had to multitask. And I just found that black clothes were much more versatile. I could put together an outfit that was quite casual, go around to see a friend to chill out for an evening, and then wear exactly the same outfit for a more dressy occasion and just zhuzh it up with the right accessories. I'm utterly ambivalent towards The Cure. So if they happen to appear on a goth playlist at work, if I'm in the middle of something, I'll let the song play on. That said, if I'm not in the middle of something, I will actually hit the forward skip button. I don't get it. I really don't. I'm sorry. If you like them, that's fine. You carry on, but I don't see what all the fuss is about. I am extremely at home in graveyards and cemeteries. And for the pedantic amongst you, yes, there is a difference. Graveyards tend to be attached to churches, whereas cemeteries are municipal spaces. They're public spaces for the burial of anybody. The older and more crumbly and spookier, the better. You've seen the videos already. I absolutely love the places. I love the feel of them. I love the atmosphere of them, and I love the architecture of them. If I had to name my favourite male singer, I would be hard pushed to choose between Elvis Presley and Frank Sinatra. That's not to say that I like everything they sang, because I don't, but the tone of their voices and the depth and the sound, I love them. I absolutely love them. So take all my goth points and see if I care. I'm ever so slightly obsessed with skulls. I love skulls. Skull ornaments and skull candles and skull jewellery. I really would like a skull ring. Kind of like this, but instead of just a plain black onyx, I'd like it shaped like a skull. All the boys of Domus Lunaris have got skull rings, and I want one as well. I don't like the sugar skull style, weirdly. I like mine proper kind of anatomical human skulls. I don't drink red wine. I don't actually drink any wine, to be honest. I'm not a big alcohol drinker. Actually, not strictly true. I will have some mulled wine at Yule, but that might only be one glass at like a Christmas market. I'll have a bit of mead when I'm at camp. Occasionally I will have a very small glass of very expensive Polish vodka, which I will nurse and sip upon for the entire evening. But that's once in a blue moon, not even once a month. I'd much rather have a cup of tea, actually. I love bats. I love real bats and not real bats and stuffed bats and plaster bats and jewellery bats and bat-shaped things and bat-themed things. I have a Batman bathroom. Yeah, I just love bats. That's pretty much it, really. I'm not a huge horror film fan. I like my classic horror movies, the old black and white ones, you know, the Nosferatu, the original Universal Frankenstein and the Mummy, and, you know, those kinds of films. I don't mind the newer versions of the Mummy, both the Tom Cruise one and the previous ones with Brendan Fraser. The kind of classic horrors, yeah, I quite like them. But anything other than that, the Amityvilles and the Poltergeists and all that kind of stuff, nah, really not my thing at all. I have 2 black cats. Actually, I kind of have 1 and 2 halves. You will have seen Lemmy in a couple of videos in the past. He's kind of peripatetic. He comes and goes. I see him at least once a day. He'll come in and meow, demanding food, and I will feed him. And he might stick around for 5 minutes, and then he goes again. And he started bringing with him his girlfriend, who I have called Zaire, which I believe is Arabic for guest. She actually comes in more than he does. But yes, all of my cats are black. Not one single wall of my home is painted black. No, it's quite true. I don't have a single black wall anywhere. I have grey walls. I have one wall that has been decorated to look like granite. It's quite dark, but it's not black. Otherwise, I've got purple walls and white walls and green walls, but no black ones. I live in a small terraced house, and I think even having one black wall would probably make the place just feel a little bit too small. I do, however, have an awful lot of black skirting board and architrave, so maybe I get some of my goth points back, eh? I love old school vampires. And we're talking proper vampires here. We're talking have to sleep during the day, can't go out in the daylight type vampires. None of these twinkly, sparkly stuff. The only vampire who's allowed to day walk is Blade. And he has special dispensation. Don't mess with the mythology. Thank you. I'm an absolute sucker for musicals. The old MGM classics. And the cheesier the better. I love Easter Parade and Singing in the Rain and Annie Get Your Gun and Calamity Jane and Kiss Me Kate and Top Hat and Putting on the Ritz and all those big production Hollywood musicals. Most of the time the songs have got absolutely nothing to do with what very little storyline there is, and I don't care. I love them. I did have a full-sized real coffin in my front room. I had it on its end and I put a bunch of shelves in it, and it was where my stereo system went. The lid was in one of the alcoves, again with loads of shelves in it, and I had all my Tudor mint pewter dragons on there. Unfortunately, when my ex moved out, he took it with him. Hey-ho. I do not, nor will I ever, wear a cross. Actually, that's not strictly true. I do have one cross, but I have only ever worn it once, and that was when I went to Comic-Con dressed as Anna Valerius. It was part of the outfit. As I'm sure you already know, I do not identify as Christian, and therefore I choose not to wear the symbol of that faith. Now, if you do, as a piece of jewellery, that's entirely up to you. I'm not criticising you. It's just my own personal thing. I won't wear one, which can be a bit of a problem actually, because if I go looking for a gothic handbag or gothic accessories, so often they've got crosses all over them, and I'm missing out on nice things because they've got crosses all over them. I buy an awful lot of homewares at Halloween. Well, let's be honest, you would, wouldn't you? Batty things and scully things and spooky things that come into the house at Halloween and stay there for the rest of the year. I am a fully trained, qualified and professional dance teacher. Yes, that's right. I am qualified to teach ballroom, Latin American, old time, modern sequence, rock and roll, country and western, ballet, tap, street and freestyle. Who'd have thunk? I adore the Addams Family, and yes, the Munsters as well. Although I must confess that the Addams Family just take it just by a whisker. Predominantly, I think, because Morticia Addams dresses from head to toe in black. She really was the original fairy goth mother, wasn't she? Black is not my favourite colour. Actually, it's purple, and there's a good reason for that. If you're being pedantic about these things, which I usually am, black is not actually a colour at all. It's an abstract. It is a shade. Therefore, you can't have black as your favourite colour because it isn't one. So there. All my glasses are cat's eye glasses. And yes, that includes my reading glasses as well. I have never been to a goth music festival. I did have tickets for Alt Fest, which was supposed to be happening August 4 years ago, but it all went kablooey, and the company that was running it went bust. I haven't been to Wave Gothic Treffens, I haven't been to Amphi, I haven't been to Party at the Castle, I haven't even been up to Whitby. These things often cost a lot of money, and it's not just a question of buying the ticket. You've got to get there, and then you've got to find somewhere to stay, and you've got to eat and have something to drink, and it's a huge expense to go to one of these events when there may only be one or maybe two bands on that you're actually interested in seeing. I just think they're a horrendous waste of money, so I won't go. My two previous jobs were classic goth cliches. The job I had before this one involved working in a mortuary, and the job before that was in a blood bank. So that's pretty much all I was able to come up with. I hope you enjoyed this little bit of fun and nonsense. Until I see you again, take care. Bye.